Hi everyone, welcome to this time's Growing Finance. Well, Qingming Festival was from last Friday to last Sunday, so last week only had 4 work days. I thought it would be a normal weekend with no crucial changes. Well, I was so wrong. Let's make a quick overview about the past week's bond market situation, alright? So the total bond yield curve was downward and flatter compared to the week before, with 3, 5, 10, and 30 years decreasing 6, 9, 9, and 12 basis points respectively. And if we compare to the level of last December 9th, when was the day before the PBOC showed its loose long-run plan about the monetary policy, bond yield curve was twisted and downward. 3 years term increased 14 basis points. 5, 10, and 30 years terms decreased 2, 20, and 21 basis points. About the actions of investment agencies, agricultural and commercial banks sold 35 billion long and ultra-long-term bonds, whereas funds bought 45 billion. Till last week, bond yield spreads between Chinese government bonds and corporate bonds was almost as the week before, with 10-year terms and 55 basis points. So what happened during last week and caused this dramatic decrease? Well, let me tell you this time's story. For fundamentals, the NBS released the PMI data of March. The manufacturing PMI and the Caixin manufacturing PMI was 50.5 and 51.2, all better than previous one 50.2 and 50.8. So the economy was still under a slow recovery process with supply side performed stably. But one big news was coming from the America and disturbing the peaceful environment. Trump administration announced its reciprocal tariffs plan, and the extent of that was far beyond expectation. The tariffs on China now was total 54%. It's worse than expected. Meanwhile, President Trump also put a high-level tariffs on many countries with almost the same extent, which caused a catastrophe in many countries' stock market, and it might cause severe potential consequences in the future. As a result, the risk of all the sentiments exploded in bonds market and all bond yields decreased. The macro environment seems to change to the side of bonds market. In terms of funding condition, the first 2 days of last week was a little tighter for funding condition, but since changed since last Wednesday and it became more obvious after Trump announced its new tariffs plan. The financing price was under 1.8% since the end of trading time of last Wednesday. With the stimulus of tariffs, the PBOC may lose monetary policies to hedge the bad influences, and the expectations about cutting RRR and other policy interest rates are enhanced. The total funding environment started to encourage bond yields to reach even lower. So what will happen after these things? What should we focus next week? First of all, the funding condition. I expect that the total vibe will turn to loose, and the so-called appropriate time for cutting policy interest rates is approaching. Second, the performance of China's stock market, which relates to the policy that the government will take to fight against the tariff influences. Third, there might be actual moves from the PBOC to balance both exchange rates and interest rates. By that, I mean Chinese yuan may depreciate. About bond investment strategies, like I said in last video, it would be best if you already have some bond positions, and now the window for buying is wide opening. But remember, don't chase profits too much. The faster the bond yields go down, the more violent the adjustment will be. So we should prepare to sell bonds when bond yields reach the new minimum. After all, the trading gains and losses come from the same place. So as always, if you want to know more useful finance information about the Chinese bond market and the economic situation, please like, share, and subscribe. I will always be here, share my understanding and experience, and waiting for you. So bye guys, until next time.